Donald Trump's oppression of California just took a dark new twist, and every single American should be disturbed. Seriously, I've never seen anything like this before. Welcome back to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. It goes without saying at this point that the biggest story of the week is Donald Trump deploying the military to California, ostensibly to stop anti-ICE protesters. He also federalized the National Guard, taking away control from California Governor Gavin Newsom. Here's a little recap.
From firebrand progressive to moderate and back again.
Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived.
After carefully walking the line for months, Governor Gavin Newsom is once again the face of opposition to President Donald Trump.
What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before.
Speaking to the On Democracy podcast Wednesday, Newsom said Trump is only stoking divisions.
And he has no stated purpose for them except to exercise a propaganda ploy and to politicize our military.
It's a departure from his niceties with conservative Trump allies on his podcast earlier this year.
We may share some commonality.
Democratic consultant Jim Ross says California's needs after the LA wildfires might have played a role.
I think that what you saw was I have to produce for the people who live in California. So in order to do that, you have to, cozy up to Trump. Everybody knows that the best way to get him to do something is just suck up to him.
And his ambition might also be a factor.
Gavin Newsom is very interested in running for president.
But Ross says the governor's current rhetoric feels authentic.
This is a really different situation. And when you're attacked, your choices become binary. Do you defend yourself or do you retreat?
Republicans disagree.
What we've got here is we've got someone who's now flip-flopping back and forth,
saying he's working for political gain.
Wherever the political wind takes him, that's where Gavin Newsom's going to be. If it's convenient for him to go back and have Charlie Kirk back on his podcast, he'll do that.
Politics aside are real implications on the streets of Los Angeles, and questions of whether the president can activate the military without a governor's approval will be tested in the courts.
And this new twist will chill your blood. Stay with me here. First, this morning, Donald Trump announced he would override and nullify California's electric vehicle mandate, a push to end the pollution issue in California through a statewide initiative to convert to electric vehicles.
Good. This is really something. And it has to do with the California Auto Regulation, CRA. It's been a disaster for this country. And I want to thank everybody for being here. We officially rescue the U.S. auto industry from destruction by terminating the California electric vehicle mandate once and for all.
Okay, forget that the EV mandate has been enormously beneficial to California, both in that we have electric vehicle plants here, which bring jobs, and that it lowers pollution, both of the air and noise. How that hurts the nation is anyone's guess. Oh wait, he's just lying again, isn't he? What this is really about is Trump's vendetta against California, a state that is a progressive model to the nation, and against Gavin Newsom, who has emerged as a powerful voice for the Democratic Party. And amid all the mudslinging, the feud just took another scary twist. This afternoon, during a White House press briefing overseen by liar Barbie Karoline Leavitt, California Senator Alex Padilla entered the press room with a question, presumably about the EV mandate or the ongoing ICE raids here. And this happened.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your heads off.
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted.
Yes, you saw that correctly. In fact, let's just look at that again, shall we?
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your heads off.
How many of our ICE agents have been doxxed for doing their duty, how they have been targeted.
In all my years watching politics, and that is a lot at this point, I've never seen this kind of disrespect for a senator on the part of the White House. Karoline Leavitt's job is to answer questions, and she won't actually respect the senator enough to let him ask? What's she so afraid of, that he might prove she doesn't know anything? That he might expose Trump's policies as, at best, vile and at worst, illegal? What the hell, woman? This is not acceptable behavior on the part of Karoline Leavitt. It's not acceptable on the part of the president or the White House, and it's not acceptable for American politics. Look, Donald Trump is scared right now, very scared. His approval ratings have tanked, Newsom's have soared nationwide, and protests are growing all over the country. And for more proof of all of that, just see our other videos here on the channel. Look, I'm at a loss right now. This is appalling to me. And yet, I'm reminded of the words of James Otis, one of our less known founding fathers. He said, and I paraphrase, "Liberty means a man can stand up." Well, my fellow Americans, my fellow humans if you're watching internationally, the time has come to stand. Stand against Donald Trump. Stand against ICE. Stand against the lies, the crime, the incompetence, the corruption, the cronyism, the gaslighting, and the malignant cancer that has consumed the presidency. This is not acceptable by any stretch on any American political spectrum. Stand for what you believe in. Stand for the ideals of America that we can, for all the awfulness in our history, for all our flaws, still be a more perfect union, a place for equality and democracy, a light in the darkness of the world. Donald Trump doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about America. He only cares about his own vanity and greed. Two deadly sins for anyone keeping track. This Saturday is the National Day of Protest against Trump. Join me and countless others in standing up for America. Take your American flag and raise your voice and send Donald Trump a message. This is not who we are. It's not who we want to be. And it's time to remind the world of what America really can be. And that starts with you. Stand. This is Occupy Democrats.